Hey everyone, welcome back. So Bitfarms provided their basically December operations update, which was really quick. It's already Monday and they already provided it. And so did Marathon. Marathon provided it later on today. So I'll have Marathon out tomorrow. I got to run through the numbers, update my sheets, and that way I can provide you guys some information. Another little update, I'm going to be even going with the data. How do I want to say this? The data right now I have is basically for the 3 quarters or the 3 months and a quarter, and I'm using the average price and average hash rate. I'm going to go even deeper into it and go month by month, hoping to get even better numbers for myself and for you guys as well. The other part of it is right now I'm trying to be at least within 5% of what they report for their earnings on Bitcoin mining. I want to get that down to 2.5% to maybe 1% being off on the difference on it. So the only way I can do that is if I track basically Bitcoin price every month and the hash rate every month. And so I'll show you guys that as well. So that's something that is going to take me a little while to get done, but I want to get that done this week going forward into basically the new year 2022. So we can have great numbers going forward, which will obviously help us know exactly how much they can possibly make for a given quarter. With that being said, let's get into Bitfarms first, and then we'll get into the numbers, and we'll get into some charts and things like that. All right, so here's the story out today. So this was released this morning, actually very early morning, 6 a.m. this morning. So Bitfarms provided their production operation summary and update for the month and year end December 2021. So we began 2021 with an ambitious multi-year growth plan, and in executing this plan, we secured nearly 60,000 new generation miners, and grew our operational capacity 53%, increased our hash rate 228%, expanded our footprint internationally, and mined 3,452 BTC. I think this is for the year, said Emilio Grudzinski, Bitfarms founder and chief executive officer. December production of 363 BTC was up from 199 BTC mined in January. An increase of over 82%. So I believe this is January of beginning of this year, which significantly outpaced network hash rate growth of 29% in 2021. This momentum leads into 2022, a year in which we plan to nearly double our operational farms, triple our operating capacity, and quadruple our installed hash rate. We began 2022 with 298 megawatt capacity under development and hash rate goals of 3 exahash by March 31, 2022, and 8 exahash by December 31, 2022. In addition, in 2021, we began to retain virtually all of our BTC production, which strengthened our balance sheet as our BTC holdings grew to over 3,300 BTC, which is US 151 million equivalent at current market prices, and enabled us to implement our recently announced 100 million BTC backed loan facility at Grudzinski. So here's our update here. Mining production, 2.2 exahash achieved effective December 12th. I wonder if it's... So they're not providing anything new here, so I guess they haven't gotten any of the new miners in yet. So effective December 12th, 2021, up 128% from 965 petahash per second on December 31st. So basically starting out the year at 965. So obviously a good increase there. 363 new BTC mined during December 2021, bringing the 2021 total to 3,452. And I think this is actually higher than Mara, but I got to look into their numbers here for the year. So they're averaging 11.5 plus BTC mined daily on average in December, bringing the full year BTC mined daily on average to 9.5, equivalent to about US $437 per day based on BTC price of 46,000 on December 31st. So 3,301 BTC deposited into custody for the year 2021, representing approximately 96% of Bitfarms' 2021 BTC production and a total value of approximately 151.8 million based on BTC price of US 46,000. So great year, obviously good expand as far as I see it. It was a great year for them. They had a great year. They started out at 900 some. A petahash went up to 2.2 exahash. So great job on them. So no complaints there. They obviously executed on their goals here. And we know that there's shipping delays, obviously, with the miners coming in from overseas, with the shipping channels and shipping ports being all backed up. So everything is just delayed right now. Mining operations, so increase operating capacity 54% from 69 megawatts to 106 megawatts of hydropower. Okay, that's good. Received and installed nearly 12,000 new miners in 2021 and exited 2021 with a total fleet of approximately 27,000 miners online. And that's where I have them right now as well. We'll look at my numbers here shortly. Exited 2021 with 298 megawatts in contracted capacity and 4 farms under development. So that's huge. That's great because they obviously are going to need that to get up to the 8 exahash that they want for 2022. Contractually secured 49,200 miners, including 1,200 of the latest generation Bitmain S19 XPs. Those are the 140 terahash miners for delivery in 2022. They rebuilt 17 megawatt farm in Cowansville, Quebec. Expanded into the United States with the acquisition of 24 megawatt facility in Washington State, growing the total number of operating farms from 5 to 6, which is great. They entered into memorandum of understanding to co-develop up to an additional 75 megawatts in Washington State. And then they also reached an agreement with the city of Sherbrooke, Quebec, to build 2 new farms, Ledger and the Bunker. With 78 megawatts combined capacity, broke ground on construction of both farms. Okay, so that's good. This is good to see. Performed construction on new 10 megawatt farm in Paraguay with planned installation of 3,000 miners in January. Okay, so we'll have another 3,000 miners installed. It'll be interesting to see which ones those are going to be. Signed engineering contracts and commenced construction of a 210 megawatt facility in Argentina. And they rebuilt in-house management software to accommodate international growth plans. Okay, so that's all good. So here's their basically 2021 monthly Bitcoin production. So January 199, February 178, a little bit down, March 221, April 232, May 262, June 265, July 391. July was a great month for a lot of the miners because the hash rate went down so far because of the exodus from China on the miners. And then in August, they were up 354, September 305. Obviously, the hash rate has continued to increase, but they weren't able to keep up with the installation of new miners. So that's the reason for obviously the drop here. And then they have obviously started installing new miners in here in October. So we got 343 in October, November 339, and December 363. So hash rate has been going up as we've seen before. And that's something that I keep beating in to you guys a little bit on that the hash rate is going to continue to go up. Let's see if we can pull this up really quick here and take a look at the hash rate here. I thought I had this up and I don't. So if we look at the Bitcoin hash rate, we can see relatively easily that the Bitcoin hash rate has been increasing since July. So if we look at it here, we almost peaked a little bit here at 180 million back in May 13th, and ever since then we went down. And since basically summer, we started going back up, and that's why you're seeing the increase or the decrease in Bitcoin being mined. But they have been able to keep obviously pace or above the hash rate increase to get more Bitcoin miners or Bitcoins mined. Sorry. So something to obviously be mindful of. We obviously see a huge spike coming up again, so more miners are getting installed. And then if we look at their numbers here, I believe this is actually we'll look at the stock price here. So they started out the year at approximately, what was that, $1.80. Let me see here if I can find it. Okay, so they closed on January 4th, 2021 at $1.86. And they basically closed today at 505. So we're looking at basically 130% increase in price value. Obviously, we hit a high here with them about 940. What was the high here? 52-week high was 936. So that would have been probably close to a 400% increase in price had you bought it back on the first day of January when trading was available, and then exited. If you exited exactly then, you would have been up close to 400%. So it has been doing great. Obviously, it's up this year, which is good to see. And we want to see how it's going to do going into 2022. And since they're going to be basically, their hash rate is at 2.2, they want to get to 8. Their hash rate is going to go 4x basically this year. I would expect the price of the stock to also go up 4x, especially if the Bitcoin price stays at least at where it's at. And then the Bitcoin hash rate doesn't go up more than maybe 20, 30% this year. So But we'll have to see, obviously, how that all plays out. And then I'll obviously go into my updated charts here or updated tables. So if we just look at right now, Bitfarms, I got them hodling, obviously, the 3,301 Bitcoins. And that gives them, obviously, a value of 152 million for that. So hodl to market cap is about 16% of that is BTC value. And then one share equals hodl amount would be 81 cents is how much Bitcoins they hodl basically per share price right now. Current hash rate, I have them at 2.2 exahash. Future hash rate, I have them at 7. They're saying they're going to be closer to 8. They must not have reported something, or I missed something where they reported they're going to get more miners in. But this is the future hash rate that I have them at. They're currently at 32% operational. Based on that, if we get that to 8, we're looking probably closer to only being 25% operational, closer to that. Number of miners currently being installed is 27,000. Hash rate average per miner right now is about 82 terahash. Shares outstanding for the stock is 187 million. Current price to earnings multiple is 93. What else do we have here that's interesting? On the weekly time frame, obviously we're down for the past 12 weeks, 1 week, 4 week, and 8 weeks as well. And if we look at the price chart here, we can see that we've been pretty much flat for the past 12 weeks or so. But here's the interesting part of it. So here's the current data I have on them. This is when all the miners are supposed to get installed, May 6th, December, April, so on. And we can see that I have these miners basically installed right now. So it's all of these, what miners? So these are the ones that are above 68 terahash and higher. The ones that are 37 and 50 terahash have been basically removed to make room for these more efficient miners. I thought that these miners here, the S19J Pros, were going to begin installed this month. They did not, since they provided that they're still at 2.2 exahash. I had them at 2.3 exahash at the end of the month here, but they obviously didn't get those installed, or haven't gotten those delivered at least. They didn't provide that. What else do we have here? So basically, with the current price of Bitcoin of where it's at, in the settings, I use the Bitcoin price for the last day here of the month, which this is where it closed at 46,211. We have the hash rate at 163 million for the average. I use the start of the quarter hash rate, the end of the quarter, the high that we reached, and I get an average of what the hash rate is. That's how I'm able to calculate how much they're actually going to be mining each day on these miners. So 1731 for these 68 terahash, and then some of the more efficient ones are 2546 per day on average, basically. So that's why I said I want to get this more accurate, because the data that I have right now is just an average of basically 3 months. I want to get that down to each month to get as accurate as I possibly can, not only for you guys, but for myself as well. So based on all those numbers, we have them at 43 million right now on possible gross revenue for the quarter. I did have them at, I think they came in at 44.8 or something like that for Q3. So it'll obviously be interesting to see where they come in at this month. The price of Bitcoin has obviously come down. The hash rate has increased. So I'm guessing that they're going to be down a little bit. I want to stay within 5% of that 43 million right here. So if I can get it to within 5%, so we're looking at maybe what, 39 on the low end and possibly 45, 46 on the high end, something like that, as far as their gross revenue goes. So based on that information, I have them at, right now, if we look at the price of Bitcoin is at 46,211 that I have them at. For the 4 quarters combined, I have them at 153 million basically for the year, which would give us an EPS of 41 cents if we use the 50% discount to gross earnings. So that'd be basically net earnings, net income on 153 million. That would give us 76 million. That would give us a price stack that where I think it should be at, closer to 818 with a price to earnings multiple of 20. And if we use the 75% net income, so basically 25% goes out for expenses, they would be at 1226. So in my opinion, they're still way undervalued. I think because Bitcoin has been going down, Bitcoin goes down 1%, miners go down 2%, basically what happens, or 1.5% more. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And, But then again, when Bitcoin goes up 1%, these guys go up 2%, or 1.5% from there. But that's kind of the world we are living in, where this is the case, unfortunately. So it's obviously gotten hammered pretty big by investors on it. But this is where I have them basically between 1226 and 818. They are at 505 right now, so way undervalued based on my information that I have here. And then once I have the actual data for the monthly, which I'll show you guys right now. So here's the monthly information that I'm going to be using. I'm using still all the same miners that they have, but now instead of going by 3 months of mining for each one, I'm going to be actually going January, February, March, and get the numbers as accurate as I can. We'll be able to calculate this based on the closing price of Bitcoin at the end of each month. So here's the table for that. January obviously started at 46,211, so that's what I have it right now, just for testing data. But this will get updated to the end of January. Once the pricing closes, I'll have the start hash rate, and I'll have the end hash rate, and we'll use the average hash rate there to more or less figure out, to be more accurate, what they're actually mining. If I wanted to get really accurate, and I don't want to do that because I don't have the time for it, unfortunately, is to do this every day. But there's no way I can do all this for 10 miners every day, plus go to work and spend time with my family and everything else. So if I get to within 2.5% being off, I'm happy going forward, or my goal is to get to within 1%. If I can do that, I am going to be extremely pleased. But so this is what's planned for obviously 2022. Get the data as accurate as possible, and we'll keep track of all of this stuff for you guys. Hopefully this will help you guys out and help me out. Obviously this is, as always, I keep saying this, or maybe I'm not saying this enough, but I want to make sure that I say this. This information is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Do your own research as always. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. I'm trying to provide at least some value to you guys. I'm hoping you guys find value in this, but obviously do your own research, guys. Don't just go by my word. I could make a mistake someplace. I could be off on something, or I could miss something. Always double check my work. Let me know if I made a mistake. Obviously, I'll correct it if I have. So, but yeah, this is all I got for you guys right now. So for Bitfarms, it's undervalued based on my opinion here. We'll see how Bitcoin does going forward. Obviously, Bitcoin goes up to 100,000 within the next quarter or so. We're looking at possibly being 1628, then 150,000 for Bitcoin. We're looking at $20. So it's got definitely room to run. We'll just have to see how well they can implement on getting the miners installed, getting the infrastructure built out. Obviously, they are obviously contracted to install or create another 6 farms. So that's all I got. Great quarter. Nice job by Bitfarms. Nothing else. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I want to talk about to you. I think that's it. That's it. Thanks so much. I can't talk. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.